Hi guys, Philip here. So in this video, I want to share with you the biggest mistake beginner traders make when they're trading on Betfair, particularly when it comes to the horse race trading, because this is where overstaking becomes a real problem. Okay, so overstaking isn't just a case of you're losing too much. The one problem that I have often found myself in is that when you're overstaking, it means that to exit the trade, you inevitably push the price up against yourself. Okay, so let me show you an example here. So you can see I'm on Pontefract here, and there's only £50,000 matched. Okay, so what happens now is the minute I enter a trade, the longer the trade is open, the more vulnerable I become based on what happens in the market. So, for example, here, if I take a £200 stake here, and if I enter, for example, let's see, I'm going to find one that's got no money waiting. So if I enter here, okay, on the lay side, on this one here, right, now you can see that I'm heavily exposed because there's no money here and there's very little money here. So there's one large stake will immediately push me down or up or wherever the price is going to go. Now here, this is where the problem lies. Because if the price now goes against me, even just like 2 or 3 ticks, let's say the price goes against me for 2 ticks, here you can see there's only £50 sitting here. So if I panic and I want to exit this trade, I need to put £200 on top of the 50, meaning I push the price down, because that obviously swallows up the 50 there, and that means I have to push the price down again, one more tick again. So that means suddenly, for me to exit this trade here, I have to, not only have I lost the 2 ticks, but I am pushing the price down 2 more ticks just by exiting the trade. Okay, do you see that? Does that make sense? So the biggest mistake, I've made this mistake so many times, lots, like literally probably hundreds of times, okay, is when you overstake. It usually happens when you get too excited, or you commit too much because you think something's going to happen and it doesn't happen, right? You know yourself with the horse market, so many weird things happen where suddenly someone comes in with a massive stake, it flips the market on its head, and it does the exact opposite of what you thought it was going to do, right? And so you always end up in a position where you suddenly are in a big minus. Okay, that's normal. And so that's what I mean here. So imagine if I had £200 stake here in the market. I've only got £17 right now, but that means that if the price goes against you, when you then want to exit that trade, you then basically accidentally start bidding against yourself and push the price down even further. And that happens when you overstake. Okay. However, now you can see here, I've only got £17 in the market. So now here you can see the price is about to go against me here. So if I want to exit the trade now here, I can, because I've only got £17. And here you can see I've got £152 here sitting at 3.7. So imagine if this £68 disappears. If I want to exit, I can exit in a second, like boom, done, I'm out. Okay, so that means that I can actually take a small loss there, and it'll be fine, right? So that's kind of the point here. So when it comes to one of the biggest mistakes I see traders make, and I've made this mistake many times, trust me, and I still do now sometimes, is that you're overstaking, and it means that when you want to exit the trade, you accidentally become your worst enemy because you're bidding against your own position by pushing the price down or up, or whichever way it's going. Okay, so hope that makes sense. So when you're trading like this here, if there's less than £80,000 matched, then don't use any higher than £50 stakes. Okay, because that means that you can get in and out quickly of the market. Also, don't forget to consider liquidity, right? In terms of the volume of bets coming in, like fresh bets being matched, because you can see here, right, it's dead. There's nothing happening, right? See how slow it is. See, there's literally nothing happening. So if I now come in here with a £200 stake, okay, on the lay side or back side, it'll be matched because there's money sitting here waiting. But the problem is that how can I get out? Because if I enter here now, like so here with a £200 stake, and let's say for argument's sake that gets matched, you can see there's no money coming in being matched. So if this here is to be matched, it's like £5, £2, £3, £2, £2, and it's going to take forever for this to be matched. And the longer this here is open in the market, the more vulnerable you become, because the market changes, the market fluctuates, the market moves, and obviously whatever edge you thought you had, and whatever reason you entered the market, the longer you're waiting for your bet to be matched, or matched on the other opposite side to be greened up, it means that the more vulnerable you become. Okay, so that's why you want a super high liquidity, so you can get in and out quickly without just hanging around waiting for it. Okay, because that in itself leaves you very, very, very vulnerable, and that also comes into overstaking. Because if you're overstaking and there's no liquidity, right, then you're in trouble as well. Right. Again, I have done that many times. I still do that sometimes. And again, it's up to you to accept that responsibility, to know that if you are overstaking, then own that. So when it goes wrong, you can go back and think, you know what? I was probably too keen. I was too eager. I believed too much in my own opinion about where the market was going. So I need to correct that next time. Okay. So guys, hopefully that was helpful, and that there is probably the biggest mistake I see people make: overstaking and not understanding the correlation between overstaking and the liquidity in the markets. Okay, so hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.